It wouldn't be academia if people weren't fighting with each other. Let's talk about some of the taxonomic debates centering around the origins of genus Homo. One of the things about being a specialist in a field is you have some opinions. But the interesting thing is not everyone has the same opinions. And one of the more hotly debated areas of taxonomy in human evolution is the origin of genus Homo. This is because, it's our genus, genus Homo. It's therefore, of course, special, right? So some people want to have different criteria for what we actually include in our own genus. So the first thing we want to talk about is Homo habilis. Do we call it Homo habilis or do we call it Australopithecus habilis? Some people think that Homo habilis is a little bit too primitive and therefore doesn't deserve to be in our genus. So here, ALL288 or AL288, that is Lucy. So we're comparing Lucy, a clear species of Australopithecus, to Homo habilis here, the two other specimens. So of course Lucy has a lot more pieces, so we can say more about her than the other two, but it does appear that Homo or Australopithecus habilis does have similar body proportions to Australopithecus. It is more ape-like, relatively short legs, longer arms. So if we're thinking about the postcrania, that might be grounds to call it Australopithecus rather than Homo. We generally call it Homo on the fact that its brain is a little bit more increased and we're seeing a little bit reduced prognathism in the face. So here we have a couple other species. On the top, we have Kenyanthropus platyops, and then we have Homo rudolfensis. So some people like to compare these and note that there's this flat face going on, and that flat face denotes a relationship between the two, so some people want to call it Kenyanthropus rudolfensis. Of course, I don't agree. I don't think Kenyanthropus is real. Of course, not everybody agrees with me. I'm of the opinion that this is a deformed Australopithecus afarensis, so we shouldn't really be using it to change the taxonomy of other species. But of course, some people do try to make this argument and are noting the similarity in these flat faces. Now we can compare Australopithecus sediba on the top here to Homo habilis, and honestly, they look kind of similar. They're just, kind of smallish, gracile. Of course, Homo habilis has a slightly larger brain, but it is, overall pretty similar. And if we're looking at trying to create a phylogeny based on the morphology of these specimens, we're noticing that Australopithecus sediba and Homo habilis are clustering together and not with Homo rudolfensis. Homo rudolfensis is closer to later Homo species, but Homo habilis does appear to be a little bit more primitive. So you could use this as evidence, like maybe Australopithecus sediba should be Homo, or maybe Homo habilis should be an Australopithecus. But whatever we're saying, they do appear to be pretty similar. And of course, we're just talking about this period of time here, right around 2 million years, the Pleistocene boundary, or the boundary between two different environmental times. We just have a lot of different species running around. We have some sort of adaptive radiation. And just at Lake Turkana, we have 4 different species running around. We have Paranthropus boisei, we have Homo rudolfensis, we have Homo habilis, and very early Homo erectus. So obviously something is going on that's allowing multiple different species of hominin to coexist. With Paranthropus versus Homo, it's pretty obvious that Paranthropus is just choosing a different strategy. So we have some just different niche going on, but it's a little bit more confusing, like what is going on with all of these different Homo species and why are all of them allowed to coexist? Since this is a confusing time, sometimes it's easier to focus on the different trends we see. So for both of these, we know that Australopithecus is probably the ancestor, and we have both Homo and Paranthropus coming out of them. With our Paranthropus, we have this hypermasticatory complex. They're just really invested in their chewing, so they're increasing their post-canine teeth. That means premolars and molars, and it should be an increase in prognathism. That was my bad. Here in Homo, we have an increase in brain size, but we're also seeing stone tools. We have decreased prognathism, we have decreased post-canine teeth, and we have increased body size. Of course, any more Specifics other than these general trends are a little bit hard to pin down, and this is one of the most hotly debated areas of human evolution of exactly what is going on. So, can you explain what are some of the taxonomic debates that center around the origin of genus Homo?